We did it, kids. Mark Miller here. Good morning. Roy's with us. Roy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, mate.
How's
you?
Did you have a good weekend?
I had a really nice, relaxing weekend. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
All right.
Nice to get away from it.
All right.
You know, without getting away from anything.
Yeah, we don't do that over here at the Mangicotti Miller family. We don't have a nice, relaxing weekend. We don't. It's always, you know, this video is due at this time for some competition thing on Facebook. I have no idea.
You had Easter. It was lovely.
Did I have Easter?
We had a nice, relaxing, amazing race Easter.
We had amazing race. Who's here already? So early in the show. So this alpha, kids. Welcome, Codebase Alpha. How you doing, buddy? We do every year. We do kind of like a. You ever see the show Amazing Race, Roy? You know about this show?
I'm not sure I do. What's that?
Amazing Race is a show was produced in the United States. It's basically like around the world with clues and challenges, that sort of thing, to work your way.
Sort of a treasure hunt kind of thing?
Yeah. And we do that. We do a similar kind of thing for our kids for Easter. And this year, I had two puzzles I really liked that I created for the kids. One that they get clue number one, and they get a bottle with a stick and a kind of a ring on the top of the stick, and it's got a symbol on the side of it. And a little later, they get another bottle with another stick in it at a different height and a larger ring. And the puzzle, then they get to a location where they have a whole bunch of symbols and circles on the ground, and they have to put the bottles in the correct symbols. And one of the symbols has a little picture of an eyeball on it, nearby it. And when they put their eyeball through the small circle and look at the big circle, it points to the next point. Speaking of the next clue. You want to do a voiceover here?
So yeah. Did you finish with that clue? So you have to look through both of the things?
Right.
Right. So you have to line them up based on what's on the ground, and then you have to look through both of them and then see where the next clue is going to be if they're perfectly aligned.
Yeah, you look through the middle one, that's a tiny one, and the big one points right at the
But there's nothing to give you that as you're supposed, but our kids are pretty sophisticated puzzle solvers at this point, right? Every year, just to get their chocolate, we've had them do outrageous things. We're like, you have to get the lasers to hit the, you have to get a laser beam. You have to arrange all the labyrinth pieces
and the mirror
to a laser
pieces
beam. Yeah,
to light up the Easter bunny.
To get a laser here. One year.
It's very Indiana Jones kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea. One year, Mark Miller took a blowtorch and opened up a chocolate egg, put a clue inside, and then torched the outside so it was a solid egg, and then you opened it and there was a clue there.
Yeah, but it was solid chocolate. It appeared to be solid chocolate.
It appeared
from the
to be
outside.
solid chocolate. Yes.
Yeah.
It was. Yes, Roy.
That's good. Yeah, I like.
It's insane. Did you explain to them about the X, Y, and Z axis though, Mark Miller?
No, I haven't talked about that yet. You're kind of the mathematician in the house. You're the one who says.
Okay, so you can't. Yes. So at one point they have to get the sum of the square of their ages and figure out where the next clue is by determining the X, Y, and third dimensional Z axis.
Yeah, and what's cool, and they're like, there's no Z axis.
And they're 9. Like the littlest one solved that one. He's 9.
Yeah. They're like, there's no Z axis, and the 9-year-old is like, it's right there, and he points to the wall.
It's a 3-dimensional space.
And you can see the Z axis going up the side of the wall, and they're like, they're lining up at their different positions. And they realize that the, hold on a second.
The next clue.
I just want to get something up here. Let me refresh this.
So you realize the next clue is there. Yeah.
They realize the next clue is above them, right? It's above them. Did I lose Rory?
It's super.
What's going on? What's that sound effect?
Codebase Alpha asks, they do that just to get their dinner each night. No, but they do get a lot of math problems. If Dad is in possession of any kind of like junk food, certainly chocolate, but even like goldfish crackers.
Yeah.
You know, he'll sort of like make them do math to get it.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
seems completely justifiable.
Yeah, so this year's puzzles had included an Indiana Jones lining up the circles and look through it, which I'd been thinking about. I was like, how do I do that? Where do I do that, right? And I kind of figured out a way to do that in the space that we had that I was pretty happy about. And then the three-dimensional one too was not bad. It was not bad, but I was hoping for. Did I lose Roy again or no? You still with us, Roy?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I just hear.
That being said, the kids are at the top of their classes in math.
Yeah, that might be true.
I could understand that, where they have to go through this just to get chocolate. That's a good way of putting them there.
Yeah,
Right.
my 9-year-old is in algebra. My 17-year-old is taking AP calculus, and my other girl is she's like, everyone goes to her for math help. So there's an upside to this particular form of cruelty, I guess.
Absolutely.
Janiscu 7, where are you? We need your help.
There's Janiscu 7
Ooh,
coming in.
coming in hot.
I'm just gonna hang out right here in the letter U. Whoa, that was close. Whoa.
I have.
I feel like I need to make a shorter intro for Janiscu 7.
You
When
think?
it first came out, I was excited by it for maybe the first 11 plays or something like that, but now I kind of know what's gonna happen. So I need to make a shorter version where just everything blows up at once, just like that, something like that. So, so let's figure out what we're going to do today. Janiscu 7 says Dungeon Masters. So by the way, last night we tried out a new Dungeon Master
Ooh,
for
yeah.
Karen's Lady Show.
This is so exciting.
Her
She
Lady
was
Dungeons
awesome.
and Dragon Show, and she was amazing. Within like a minute and a half, she had just blasted through any kind of doubt that anybody would have. She
was so funny. So Mark and I, both of us like to like consume things quickly, right? Like, so like I listen to books on double speed. I don't like pauses. I don't like breaths. I like, if you're going to be talking to me, do it quickly. And so we said this in the interview with her. I was like, let's not let the energy drop. And she was like, bam! Like, even for us, we were
impressive.
like, take a breath, woman.
Yeah, at one point I turned to Karen, and I've never said this about any presenter doing anything at all in my life, but I was thinking, I wonder if it would be okay to maybe say that she could relax for a little bit at a moment or two. And I never said anything.
Never says that.
Like maybe I over-directed in terms of telling her, keep energy going. But she was great, and we did that practice last night, and it was pretty good. And today's show, I was going to focus on 2 of the spells from that are there that we need to implement logic for. They're kind of tricky. I think they might be. Well, hopefully they won't be. But one of them is called Hunter's Mark, where you mark a target, and then if the target is marked, you have certain benefits, such as you get an extra d6 that's rolled if you're going to hit that target later. So I somehow need to implement that. And Genesis 7 says Codebase Alpha is rated and needs help, right? Yeah. Prior to that, Codebase Alpha says after that UFO blows up, Genesis 7 needs to spin a few tunes. Something like that. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let's get Fred back here. So I want to work on those and implement that logic. That's kind of what I want to do.
Sounds good.
So yeah, it's not too bad. Let's go open up. I think we'll start with maybe the spells is what we'll do. Let's open up the spells. Like that. And you can start with Hunter's Mark. The other one is harder to say. And I don't even know how to pronounce it. Karen might know, actually. It's Shillelagh, I think.
Shillelagh. You are so not Irish.
That's Shillelagh. I'm so glad
Shillelagh.
you helped me out with that, baby, because I was like, no way am I going to get
baby. I am half Irish.
that. Oh, yeah?
Fun fact. Yes. And I've been to Ireland many times.
So you can pronounce that.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh says Codebase Alpha as well. Okay, cool. So it's Shillelagh. Shillelagh is similarly challenging in that it is, you are going to now attach something to a weapon. The spell essentially attaches itself to a weapon, is what it does. So we're kind of going to need to go back into the, we're going to have to go back into the Expression Evaluator, and I think play in that space is what we're going to have to do. So those are the two I wanted to focus on. I almost think to get our feet wet. Oh, look at this guy. Does this guy have a permit for flying so low? Don't fly too low, buddy. You look out right on it. Oh, man. Every time.
I love how thin his arms and legs appear to be.
Aren't they awesome? Those
It's really funny.
Oh, no. Look, I just got smashed with a taco. No, pudding.
Oh, you know what's sad about this? We are all out of pudding.
I bought pudding for the first time in maybe 2 years for the kids. Because, you know, they're in quarantine and I'm trying to keep their spirits up. So every Saturday we have Super Saturday Snack Surprise Saturday. Something like that.
Yeah, and they get like a pudding cup. Most of kids in America, by the way, eat those like 3 a day, my friend. Our kids are like, we get one on a Saturday.
We get one in March. Yeah, so I got them those, and so anyway, yeah, that's been happening. We don't really distribute a lot of sugar to the kids because Karen and I are both keto, so we don't do sugar, and we're acutely aware of how much sugar there is and all the things that are out there. Like even when my daughter's like eating French fries and ketchup, I'm just like going, oh, so much sugar.
The best, and we also don't do a lot of processed foods. So the best line that's ever been said, son was like, I was like, just go and eat something. He's like, I'm hungry. Go and eat something. There is no food in this house. There are only ingredients.
Right. Only ingredients. No food. Oh, no food. Yeah, pudding comes in with it's only fair to get some pudding. It's giving me a whole meal
Easter
here.
pudding.
Yeah. What if we add more food-based fanfares?
Food-based
kind of have a theme kind of thing going. I think to get ourselves in here, to get our feet wet on this, Roy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think. Well, let's start with.
Disclaimer! Mark doesn't know Jack!
Yeah. Fred, get back up here.
Expectations.
Yeah, I want to set those expectations because I'm like, we're basically going into code I haven't looked at in a while. I'm not sure what to do, but there's a couple things on my list.
To remind people, at the very least, this sheet we're looking at here is sort of data for feeding through the system, certainly in part anyway. This will express descriptions, but also effects when cast, names, and might even link to other secondary effects and die rolls that are required in order to achieve.
Right.
So whilst this is in Google Sheets at the moment, we'll download and get copies of this in CSV format. The system at large will load this up and we'll run things on the basis of what we have put in these sheets.
Yep.
So it's very useful information that we hold here.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so let's kind of look at this one right here. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and start this right here. So let me zoom out a little bit and see it. There we go.
This is the hunter's mark you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your query. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra d6 damage to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack. And you have advantage. Oh, in addition to that, so there's a comma after attack. And you have advantage on any wisdom, perception, or wisdom survival check you make to find it. If the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to mark a new creature. This is complicated. This is a spell that has an additional side effect while it's active, which is mark a new creature. But only if the target drops to 0 hit points. Holy cow. Yeah, sounds hard to code. Yeah. There's another part of this, though, that's clearly in the domain of the Dungeon Master, which is the part after the comma. You have advantage on any wisdom perception or wisdom survival check to make to find it. I think I'm going to put that responsibility in the hands of the Dungeon Master. And the D6 damage only applies if you hit it with a weapon attack. All right. So yeah, there's some.
So you can't hit this with another spell or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, you won't get your extra D6 if you hit it with a spell. But any weapon will work. Now we've got some events. I've got my events kind of with this darker background. I'm not sure if they're coming through very well on the. It looks like they're not on the stream. Interesting. I wonder if OBS is compressing a little bit, taking that very light color. Yeah, interesting. So this this column available win is different from this column here in terms of color. It's clear on one monitor. If I bring it down to other monitor, oh, it's a monitor problem maybe.
Sorry, I can see a difference in background color.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
There's no text.
It's interesting. My secondary monitor doesn't show the difference, but my primary monitor on top does. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Just the background color there, difference there. So it looks like Could be says for advantage, you could have some graphic or something to indicate which characters have advantage or disadvantage. Well, it depends on the role. Codebase Alpha, and we do have. Hold on. We kind of have a graphic already in the form of, like, if I say I want to roll a skill check, acrobatics, and let's say I want Fred and Cornelia to roll it, I can just throw out advantage to Fred like that, and when I roll the check, you can see the colored dice show you that. That's the graphic, essentially, and when it takes it away, it says they've got advantage. That's why I'm taking the small number away. So I don't think I need to do that. Pudding says, wow, it's called Mommy. What are you guys talking about? What did I miss here? The puzzles to get sugar require IQ 135, right, Code Rush? Yeah, I don't know. I'm making the kids work if they want to get it. We used to do puzzles when I was homeschooling them, and I'd give them a math problem, and the answer to the math problem would be a 3-digit number always, and the 3-digit number would be the unlock code for a box that would contain their sugar-free chocolates, surprise inside of it. So we used to do that too. Blue aura for. Oh, I do like this though. Pudding says blue aura for advantage and red aura for disadvantage. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Do you know what great parenting thing I'm doing right now?
What great parenting thing are you doing right now? Honey?
I'm letting the kids watch Sherlock from BBC.
That's good.
Yeah.
You've seen that show, Rory? It's incredibly well produced.
It's such a good show.
Also, it's the first show to my knowledge to nail the way you should show a text message coming in.
Yep.
Graphically.
That's true. That they were the first ones to do that. Also, that show is sweet and special to us because we realized that the story of Sherlock and Watson is pretty much our love story. It's the closest thing that we have to the love story between Karen and Mark on film is Sherlock and Watson.
Yeah.
Like their love story.
Okay, that's going to cast that show in a whole new light now.
Yeah, but it's true.
I'm going to go back and watch all of that.
You should, especially the wedding episode. Yeah, it's right on.
Half of the things that half of the things that Watson says to Sherlock, Karen has said to me.
We were watching the show, and every time like Watson opens his mouth to explain something to Sherlock, we look at each other like, I just said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a true story. It's such a romantic show.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. So we've got this.
Cornelia!
Wait, it's Thomasina. It's got Hunter's Mark, like that. So there's the Hunter's Mark spell right there. That's what we got to do. So we got to figure that out. And I've got kind of 2 ideas, but I wanted to see what events we have here. Available win on casting. I think I've got available win up here for, there's a secondary piece. There's a couple spells that give you secondary bonus action spells to cast. One of them is Melf's Minute Meteors. Here we go. And let's get this so we can see the whole thing here. All right, so notice I've got 2 Melf's minute meteors here. This one is available when I haven't cast it yet. This one's available when, and so notice Melf meteor count is 0 or null. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Let's get that out of there. Did test close fail to work, Rory?
No, I was only didn't quite. My vocals were there ahead of my typing.
Oh, okay, all right. So let's see. So it's right here. It's available when. So this determines if I have a shortcut, whether the shortcut is going to be visible here or not. Okay, that's what's going on there. So determining when it, and the Melf meteor count right here. This is our own custom variable that we essentially are declaring here to use in this spell. So that's what's going on there. So one of these two will be available. The time to cast is here. Notice this is one action and this is one bonus action. So what happens is you'll actually, when this is, for me, when I cast it, I'm not in these players. I'm not among the players right now. But you know, while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and make me that. Let's bring me in. So we'll just add me. We'll say I'm now playing. That's me right there. And let's take away like Mare, like that. Let's export this. And put it out at players. Yeah, override it. Come back over here, initialize player data. And now, so if I cast notice here it's in my actions group right here because its casting time is one action. If I cast it here, I think I have to click on roll damage. It's going to ask me how many I want to send out. So I can say 0, 1, or 2. That's how many meteors I can send out. I can potentially send out.
The dialogue is hidden by the spell.
How's that? So I can send out 0, 1, or 2. That dialogue is coming up from right here. This question, ask, send how many meteors, 0, 1, or 2.
That's
okay,
good.
Right there. And it sets the result of that ask question to the num Melf meteors to send variable. We did all this, we wrote all this code a while back, right? We wrote code
So,
in
you can read that left to right quite easily. So if the number of meteors is 0, or the list itself is null, so if one of those two things happen, i.e. we've not done anything yet,
You're right.
then set the count to whatever the result is from us asking the question, how many do you want to do?
Right. And then
so we're kind of just setting things up.
Yeah. Then we tell the dungeon master how many meters are coming. If the spell slot level is greater than 3, then we set the total meteor count to whatever that is. Otherwise, we set the meter count to 6, depending on what spell slot we're firing from.
Sure.
That's because the spell has greater power from different slots. If the number of Melf meteors to send is 0, then we complete the cast and we're done. Otherwise, we add the spell effects for it and add the sound effect as well. And so that's what happens when we're casting, when we start up the cast. What's this event over here? What happened there? I just jumped up to Hunter's Mark here. Over here on cast, I'm just doing this. I'm just offsetting the total count by 0 minus the num meters to send. So it's essentially saying that's the Melf meter count is equal to Melf meter count minus that value. The expression engine kind of forces me to do it in this weird way, unfortunately. So I don't have a minus equals here that I'm aware of, at least not with my custom variables. This custom variable is stored inside of the character that's casting the spell. Okay, so any custom
that was rendered as a private field, was it, or a property? One of the two.
It's in its state. It's in a state dictionary. It's stored in a state dictionary by name, and so the expression engine goes to the active character, declares these if they don't exist, sets their values appropriately. So this offset right here is just going to decrement down that meteor count, and if the number that we're setting is greater than 0, then we're going to set the die string equal to whatever that number is to string times d6 fire damage. So we're going to send that out. Okay. So there's the spell die string there. Now meteors to send 0. So yeah, the Hunter's Mark I think is going to be tricky. I think it's going to be looking a little bit like the trickiness of Melp's minute meteors. There's code inside the CSV. I thought this was just for parameter setting. No, we've added code.
Yep.
We've added code for the spells.
Expression Evaluation Engine in.
Is correct. Okay. Let's see.
So this was our example. This is how we're doing things in a couple of stages. You've got a second Melt's Meteors, haven't you?
I do, yeah. Did you want to look at that one before we go on?
Different circumstances. Well, this is for basis of comparison with our Hunter's target kind of mechanic.
So let's do this. Let's get to the second one. So right now we did this one off of the actions. We say, okay, let's go to 2, like that. And notice now immediately I got my bonus action right here that showed up, right there.
Yep.
Like that. And so that's the second one there. I gave it the same name because that's the spell I have, you know, and so I can do both of those like that. And so that gives me another kind of action. Now.
So the mechanic of that is very like use the first spell to enable the second one, to charge it up,
right,
so to speak, to set the environment such that the second one makes more sense.
Right, and there's a number of spells in Dungeons & Dragons that are like that. But now that I think about it, Hunter's Mark is actually not like that. Hunter's Mark is doing something different. Now, notice we do have an on-player attacks event right here. When this spell is active and the player who casts the spell rolls an attack roll. Holy cow, that's what we need. We need something in there like that. And I think we need something that basically says, I'm gonna add the pseudocode here. So basically says, if is weapon attack, right? Then we want to add damage 1d6. Could it be this easy? Like that?
Maybe.
Well, is weapon attack and add damage, but that's I think what the pseudocode looks like. I think that's what in fact that's what I want the real code to look like if we're a weapon attack. Now, is weapon attack? How are we going to do that? Over here, I've got some properties. This is one of the first things I built in here were these properties. So I could come in and create something that was easy to read. That was essentially a global property. I'm going to change this to uppercase here. Is weapon attack. Let's go back over to the spell. All right, hold on. Let's move this so it's really close over to the spell. Like that. So we can kind of go back and forth easily. Is weapon attack. Like that. It has to be the marked target, though. You're right. So let's do this. And target is marked. Okay? That's pretty cool. Now, we got to figure out target is marked. However, let's look at something else for a second here. In my features, there's a feature called sneak attack. It's not here. Right? I'm on features? Sneak attack is not here. How am I implementing sneak attack? Now I'm concerned because I thought for sure it was going to be here. It's not here, is it? Nope. How am I implementing sneak attack? Now I'm curious. Hold on. That was me just typing it in. Sorry, I thought it was in search. There we go. Sneak attack. Whoa. What's this? It's in features. Did I just miss it? Okay, I guess I just missed it. Sorry about that. So sneak attack is here. That's really weird. I guess I was looking right at it. Okay, so sneak attack. What's going on here? On shortcut availability change. If sneak attack available, okay, then we're going to tell the DM. So on shortcut availability change. So when the shortcut becomes available or not. So this is this is a feature. The feature gets built into a shortcut because of, I think, where is it? I think it's this checkbox or this data here. Requires activation, I think builds it into a shortcut, and the shortcut name is taken from here. Okay. So if sneak attack available, I bet that's a property. Sneak attack available. There it is right there. I'm right on it. So now we're looking at target is flanked. Okay. Well, how are we telling that? We don't have a map system yet. How did I get target is flanked in here? Let's go search for that. I think I did it in here. Let's bring up the, I think I did. All sheets. Looping around, so that's it. Okay, so it's only here, target is flanked. Let's go figure out how I did target is flanked. Let's go to character. Let's just do this. Target is flanked. No target is flanked? Come on. Just checking to see if I was searching through everything. I'm not trusting this. Hold on. Let's do a search through the whole thing here. Through the whole solution for target is flanked.
Ryan L. Robinson is raiding with a party of 7. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for coming in here. How was your stream, Brian? Thank you for the raid. What'd you guys work on? Which one? Matching lines, 0 files. The target is flanked is not here. How is the magic occurring? Did I lose you, Rory? We go to working with take shape and snip cart. Here comes Rory back in. Looks like we got disconnected. You with me, Rory? All right, cool.
Skype's having an interesting time staying running.
Connected. That's interesting. Yeah, because
oh no, it outright killed itself twice now.
on your machine, you just saw it die.
Yeah. Yep. Had to relaunch in both cases.
Take shape, and snip cart. Do you know what those are, Rory?
No.
I have not heard of those before.
No idea. Sounds interesting.
It does. I'm searching for them right now. Take a look at this. Oh, content management system. Looks like that. Snip cart. Okay, adding shopping cart. Okay, so we are not doing professional stuff on this stream. That is not happening. We're creating a Dungeons and Dragons engine using C#, TypeScript, and even Google Sheets to essentially declare. Brian says perfect.
This is a sharp left turn from what you were looking at.
Wait, say that again, Rory. What'd you say?
So this is a sharp left turn from what they were looking at.
Right. That's what we're doing. If you haven't been here before, I'll give you a taste of what kinds of things we're doing here. Let me. You can see the. Hold on. Let's move that above the back overlay so you can see it. So this is for Dungeons and Dragons live stream, right there, where we can bring the player stat sheets up. We can, for example, let's roll a deception check with advantage, that sort of thing. So we've got the die roller on there, like that. Yeah, I'm really liking putting suggestion of putting the glow around it if it's advantage or disadvantage. I just did I just cast Melf's Minute Meteors. That's why I've got the special effects circling around me. I can, as a bonus action, cast it again. Roll that damage out. There's the spell data right there. So this is all, let's send out 2 meteors before, right there. And that's all for a show on a different channel. You can see it right out there, Dragon Humpers. Basically live comedy Dungeons and Dragons. And so we're creating the special effects for that, the tools for that. That's what we're doing here. Today, we're working on implementing the logic. Did you find why the dice was running slow on your last stream? I did, Frank. It had to do with perf issues. The dice were, and I haven't fixed it yet. We've done some things to fix it. And one of the brilliant things we did on here is we're actually scaling up and down the animation speeds. So let me get the background to be dark so you can see this. Hold on a second. Let me get this up here. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we go to
Merkin Bushwhacker.
and we bring up like the Ray of Frost spell right there. Okay, take a look at the animations circling around me. So there's the Ray of Frost circling around, and the Melf's Minute Meteors is circling around me, as well as the animation on the back of the spell. See the spell book? Now watch what happens when I roll the attack. The animations on both of those, the frame per seconds are going to drop to 5. And they're going to get really slow, but you won't notice it because the dice are coming out at high speed. So watch. But if you get your eyes on it, now we're at 5 frames per second here and around me, right? So it's chunk, 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 like that.
Spectacular miss.
And then once the dice are done and we get rid of them, we go back to normal speed. So we did that, and that made things not bad. But the real solution, the real solution is coming in the mail. It's coming in the mail. I think I'm going to get it tomorrow. And it's a secondary computer. And the secondary computer, Frank, we're going to hook up, and we're going to push as much stuff off the secondary computer. So it's going to do the live, it's going to take the Skype stuff, it's going to do the green screenings, and it's going to combine those and give me an NDI. So my machine won't have to work so hard. So yeah, but it was
throwing more power at it.
Yeah, the problem is, look, we're like pushing the limits of what you can do with the technology in one machine. We really were. I had 5 different green screen videos that were all being done, 3 different overlays with graphic visual effects running at 30 frames a second, and the 3D dice, and it was just cranking and slowing things down is what was happening. So yeah, so we'll go with a 2 PC stream. Nice. Yeah, Frank, it's amazing what you did with only one. Yeah, well, thank you for that, and I agree, it's not bad. But I will say though that I get this 2 PC stream working. I will not hesitate to turn it into a 3 PC stream to make this if I have to. The additional laptop or the computer I bought. Let me bring it up on. Let me get it up on Amazon so you can see this. It's pretty freaking cool, based on the picture. Hold on, let me get to my orders.
Comes direct from the Arctic.
From the Arctic? Oh, because it's so cool.
It's that cool.
Let's see. Here's my orders. Scrolling down.
And it's an interesting exercise as well, because I mean, you find yourself doing the similar kind of thing in a lot of businesses. You really want to move things so that it's possible to throw more money at the problem to make the problem go away, right?
Well, that's how
if you can make it into a paralyzable kind of thing, then 2 machines, 3 machines, 4 machines, just dial that stuff up, kind of Azure style. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm not
people don't scale so well.
I'm not the best money manager. In fact, I may be among the worst. But my basic belief is credit cards were built to solve any problem, So basically, I'm like, oh, throw a credit card at this problem right here. This is it right here. This is what I bought. I'll throw a link out to that in the chat room in case anybody else is interested in it. I think this is going to work. This is one of those, me looking at the stats and simulating the demand on it in my brain and what I think its CPU hit is going to be and the GPU hit, and thinking, I think this is going to work. I did not calculate it. It was like kind of a deep concentration conclusion that this is the right one for me. But if this works for another 700 to again ease things up, I may totally do that. I may totally do a second computer sometime in the future for whatever reason we have to. But I have a feeling once we do this, it's going to be really clear if this is super easy to solve the problem or not. But I think it is.
I mean, you've obviously thought about this ahead of time, because clearly another one of those could stack on the original run. In fact, you could build a large pile of these if you had to.
Yes.
Just sit on top of each other. Right?
Because we're talking about NDI. We're talking about NDI across the network, right? Which the network can handle. The network can handle a lot of pushing video all over the place. So it's really what we're talking about. Our bottlenecks right now, my bottleneck on my machine is the GPU, really the GPU. If you come up and you look at a stream when I've got 5 people coming in, my CPU is often at like 87%. So I've got a little to spare. But my GPU is almost always at 99%. Right? We had a show a while back where we were trying to cut that back, and that's what we were doing with the frame rates. Frank says, I also have a PC in the mail for a 2-PC setup. However, it's a laptop. I ordered it back in the day when we could travel a lot. Okay. Yeah,
That's
no, I get
a long
that.
time ago.
That is a long time ago. That seems like years ago.
Feels like it is.
But I'm going to set this up with a KVM switch, is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, and this thing is so small, I'm just going to strap it onto the bottom of my my moving desk, my walking desk setup. So I can, if this is really what it takes to offload a significant chunk of CPU from my machine, and I could just do these in stages, I could have one of these dedicated to the map, right? Animating the map, zooming in and out of the map. Another one dedicated to the Skype stream, and then my laptop is dedicated to chunk, sending everything up to Twitch, and doing the graphics overlays for the front and back of players, that sort of thing. Or maybe just the front overlay on top of the players and the dice, right? It could be that kind of a thing. I'll know, I think tomorrow. I think it's going to be it's arriving in Costa Rica, I think tomorrow. And we'll be able to take a look at that. But yeah, that's what I ended up getting. It looks and feels about the right size. There's no fan in this thing, by the way. This thing is at least that's my understanding, is no fan. This thing is like just solid electronics. Although I am seeing vent holes in here. So I don't know. There's no fan in this or not? Now I feel like I have to look at this here. Fan.
I think I've seen things like that before. That they're generally small enough to strap to the back of a monitor as well.
Yeah, no, I've seen that as well too. Do I check what C# Fritz is using? Intel NUC Canyon Skull is pretty cool too. I've not looked at any of those. Frank, you can't give me buyer's remorse. I haven't even got it. Wait till I get it to show me what other cool things I should have gotten instead. Yeah, so interesting. I've not checked out. Yeah, Frank is like, Mooah, mooah, mooah. All right. Okay, hold on. We've got a mystery on our hands right now, and
Okay.
the mystery is, how the heck is target is flanked working? Is it?
Yeah, this is a phrase you've only found in.
You still with us, Roy? I just think we just lost Roy in the middle of the sentence. We totally lost him. Skype is dying over there, man. Reconnecting. There's a poor network connection. Skype says so. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it's that. I think there's something else going on. Roy will come back, I think, hopefully. I have a theory as to how this is working. To do it, he's calling us in. Hold on, let me go answer the phone. Come on in, Roy. Hey, buddy.
Decided this doesn't like.
Yeah, we were talking about target is flanked, and I heard you
Yes.
say something.
I vanished. This is something we've got once, maybe twice in the data sheets of Google, right? But you couldn't find it anywhere in the source code. The question is, how is this functioning at all?
Right, is the question. That's exactly the question. I have a theory. I want to just double check this. Target is flanked. No more results looping around. Did I lose Roy again? Is that the sound of you gone? Or are you here?
No, I'm still here for now.
Yes. All right, awesome.
I'm going to bet one of two things. Either you're not using sneak attack available at all,
I
and
am.
the problem is one higher stage removed, or alternatively, you've got some form of sensible defaulting in place.
Let me show you what's going on. Here's what I think is happening. I think, hold on though, target is flanked. There's one other place we could look that we haven't looked before we actually conclude that, and that's the D&D app. Because I haven't done a search through all of everything here. Let's do that. I just started a search. The dialog showed up on another monitor. It's going through everything. See if we can find target is flanked here. Ah, it's a property of the character.
Ah,
Oh, you know what I was doing?
what was that?
I was looking at the character in the overlays, which was a TypeScript file. I thought I was looking at C# when I was looking at it. I kind of blanked out. Yeah, so target is flanked. And I've got an ask target is flanked here. Ha 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 ha. Here's where things get clever. Ask caption. Let's see what's going on with ask attribute. He's two-handed. Oh, look at this. I've got these ask attributes. All right, let's show you how they're used. Let's go back to players. Let's get rid of Cornelia Wicklespit, and let's bring in Willie Shaker, and let's export one more time here. Looks like I lost my menus here. Alt F. Is that going to work? No. Do I really? I guess I have to just do download. How do I do this? What's my magic for getting this back? That's what I have to hit over there. Okay, fine. All right, so download, comma separated values, replace players, replace it. All right, let's reload the data. Here's Willie. All right, so Willie, check it out. He's got target is flanked, weapon is ranged, weapon is finessed. Those are showing up, but those were not all of the asks that I think we saw.
No, there seems to be quite a few of them.
Two-handed is not there. Why isn't two-handed showing up, but why is target is flanked showing up? The reason why, I'm pretty sure, go back to, I think features is where we were. Properties. Sneak attack is available. Goes to my properties, which I think I put back over on the other side. Sneak attack is available, has a reference to target is flanked, and weapon is ranged or weapon is finesse. Okay? So because this is here, because it's asking about these, it's adding these automatically up here, like this. Now also watch.
That's kind of efficient.
Yeah, now watch what happens when I grab a dagger. Look, weapon is ranged and weapon is finesse. Automatically checked for me. Okay, because the properties in here are set automatically as well. Okay? So
you're effectively shown UI elements that are relevant to what it is you're trying to do.
Yes, exactly. So the target is flanked. Looks like what we need to do is we need to essentially copy that is what we need to do. We need to take this target is flanked and we need to add another Boolean that says target is marked.
Yep.
Like that. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to say target is marked. Like that. Good. Then we're going to come over to here. Wait, let's go to our, did we put in our spells? Yes. Target is marked. I think we're good there. I think we're just going to grab and see if target is marked there. We don't need to change that because it's going to grab that. It's going to say, if I can't find it, can I find it on the active character? And the answer is yes, I can. So what this is going to allow us to do is allow the dungeon master or whoever's running this to click a button there that says target is marked. Right? So the parts that we can't control yet with the software, we'll let the dungeon master specify it. Now,
okay.
When it's Willie's turn, by the way, I'll show this, I'll bring this up right here. I'm on Willie's page right here, and one of the buttons for Willie is target is marked. And watch what happens when I click it. We should see that checkbox change up there. So click it, there it is right there. You see that? Target is flanked, it just came up. This checkbox right there. I'll clear it again, and I'll hit it down here. Like that, okay? So target is flanked, and I think there's another thing that's going on with target is flanked where it is cleared just before it's that player's turn. So let's go take a look at that and similarly clear target is marked.
See, that's really good because we can't really detect that fact in the game at the moment, but we can give the Dungeon Master the opportunity to specify that fact, to effectively say he is currently marked or flanked, and now he's not again. So that's useful.
It is not actually, I just did a tap to next reference and there's no other occurrence of it. So it is not. In fact, when I look at the buttons, Here, let's bring back the UI up here again. There's 2 buttons. I have a button that says target is not flanked, and I can click that and it clears the checkbox. Notice also next to the word special, sneak attack becomes available right here, right there. When I flank and when I turn it off, it goes away. And so if I, for example, it's available now. Now if I switch to like, I think a firebolt, it should go away. Yeah, it goes away because the weapon's no longer ranged. Weapon is not full finesse. So essentially we want something to work similar to the sneak attack. The cool thing is if I go back and hit dagger, now it's available. I can now exercise my sneak attack option by clicking that button. And off on the left, I saw a movement over here. Sneak attack is active is true. Here, let me scroll that over. It looks like we lost Rory and we're trying to reconnect here. So right here, sneak attack is active is true. Rory's going to call us back, I think. And that happened because of this. And then when I roll the attack, you should see special effects that include smoke effects on the dice. Like that. Because it's a sneak attack. You can't quite see it. So that's kind of what's going on with sneak attack. So we need to do something similar with Hunter's Mark. So the thing that's interesting to me, so that means target is flanked. That means the next time we come back, let's say I do some sort of like the Ray of Frost. Roll the attack. Moshiko777 says hello from Israel. Welcome.
Look at all that damage.
Rory's rebooting his machine. If I do that and now I come back to Willie.
Willie Shaker.
Yeah, still has the target flanked. Okay. Here comes Rory. That was a fast reboot, my friend.
My machine can be quite good at these things.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Apparently not so good at the Skype, but the reboot's fine.
That's awesome. No, it's fast.
Hopefully that will make things better.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go in. Let's go and try to make this thing work similarly here. So we're going to say target is marked. Target is marked. I think I'm going to do the same thing where I don't set it either way. It's going to start off initialized as false. Do I want to change it? Do I want to change it? Do I want to change it? Yeah. To do implement target is marked. I want to similarly have the to do here. When map is built and integrated in game as well as targets. I want to change that implementation a little bit, but for now we'll make it manual. Okay. What do I need to do? Target is marked as there. Is weapon attack. So is weapon attack. We need to declare that. So I'm going to go over to properties. I started declaring it, and I think it is... let's look at the other pieces we have here. I'm just looking at the different booleans we have here. Weapons in hand. I think we could just look and see if weapons in hand is greater than 0. Although it looks like I'm not setting it yet. Looks like it, because I've got here to do implement this. Weapon is finesse. I think I'm setting that. I am setting that. I'm just going to change the implement this to test cases for that. Test cases, although I think I do have some test cases for these. I'm pretty sure all of these I've got working, so weapon is heavy. I'm almost thinking about creating a new property here. Has weapon in hand. It's equal to true. So here, Okay, throwing our test case to do on this one as well. So has weapon in hand is now what I'm going to use. And since I've declared that, I don't need to create an is weapon attack here. I can now delete this. And I can come back over to my spell and do this. So on player attacks, it has weapon in hand. Well, attacks, I think, is it now attack could also be a spell. And the player casts a spell, rolls an attack. So it's some sort of roll. So, and we're going to add the damage. So add damage now is tricky. I'm sure add damage doesn't exist. We need to go down into our expression engine and look at the functions we have. I've got add damage resistance. That's not what I want. I want an add damage. Something with the add dice.
I assume, though, that it'll be modeled similarly to... Oh, add dice, did you say?
Yeah, I've just got to add dice in here. Additional dice this roll. Ooh, that could work. That could work. Notice it's a direct assignment right there. It doesn't add. It's not like a list of items. So two different functions that added dice would override each other.
Like the other out.
Yeah. So I almost think I want to make this a list of strings.
Does the add damage resistant function work in a similar fashion? Because I assume that they're all very similar. They are affecting the set of dice that is being rolled.
Damage resistance is different.
It's just a question of, well, how they're applied.
No, it's different.
No?
Unfortunately, no. We can't use that as a model. Damage resistant is an enum. So you might and you might be resistant to, say, like cold attacks or something like that, or fire.
Okay.
That sort of thing. The question is, should I initialize this or not? I think I'm going to say maybe no. Let's just have an X reference through this right here. Is this the only time I'm adding to it? I've got some test cases. Hold on. Let's do this. Oops. Let's go back to change this to this, but then let's also create a oops. Let's create an enum of them so that we can did I lose Rory again? Having a tough day today. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say this dot add dicer like that, and then I want to say additional dice this roll. I want to say look who's here. Do a trick, Jetsam. Nice trick, Jetsam. Roy says he's figured out a possible reason why Skype is not happy. Welcome, Jetsam. How you doing? Did you have a good weekend? Do anything fun? All right, so I'm going to do this plus, what is it? A semicolon between the dice, I think. Different dice types. You do this. How would you rate the quality of this call? Skype's asking me. That one's not a good one. Calling it unexpectedly. Okay. Let's do that. Let's create a method. Method returns a string, ms, like that. And then we're going to say, we'll paste that in, and then we're going to go into additional dice, and we're going to loop through it, And here comes Rory. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
What do you think?
I'm going to give this one last try.
Okay.
As I mentioned just now in the chat room, I've determined a reason why Skype may not be happy. My internet connection is getting 0.16 megabytes down and unmeasurably slow up.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I've never seen it that bad before.
That is, yeah, that could be it.
We shall see.
We shall
I'll hang
see.
here for as long as I can, though.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. And as if, you know, in case we never see you again, those will be your last words. Don't say anything because
It's like
no,
dial-up.
you can't say anything. Those were supposed to be your last words. Who's your ISP, Rory? Ooh, Codebase
I
Alpha.
don't want to make them feel bad.
This is how positive Rory is. Rory, totally entitled to do this. All right, so let's see here. We're going to go through the additional dice. We're going to say result equals additional dice of I. And if I is less than, where's my less than? There it is. Less than additional dice dot count -1. Then we're going to say results plus equals. I think there's a faster, better way to do this, isn't there, Roy? There's a link thing that does this like that. Surely the
Surely Dev is in the house.
Surely Dev, it's the other way, man. You got to do it that way. I don't have it working both ways on that. Does it begin with a B or a V or something else? That's Codebase Alpha.
Trying to get clues for my ISP.
Yeah. No pressure, but you know. Codebase Alpha wants to know. All right, so if it's less than this, then we're going to add this. We're going to kind of create a separate. I think there's a faster way to do this with link or a join call or something like that. I'm not remembering. Let's explore it, right?
I think you can for each your way through. Well, let's see. From X in list of things, select X, and then in any way you want, and then you can join the results. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how to do that. I'm like totally old
I tend
manning
to
it
use
right now.
string.join when I sort of, you know, if you've got an array of strings, all of which, or indeed a list of strings, you can do a string.join. Supplying a delimiter. I'm not entirely sure what your start values is. Is it the additional dice array?
Yeah.
In that case, yeah, the separator first and then the array
Looks like that will work.
afterwards. Codebase Alpha is not a fan of my from syntaxes that I like using.
Oh, yeah. So I think it's like that. Get additional dice.
I like them because they look like SQL, and data selection feels like it's set theory and SQL-ish. So yeah, that's my logic there. But it can work either way. That's certainly nice and succinct, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for. All right, good. Thanks for that, Rory. Okay, so there's my additional dice right there. Adding that in the dice string. Let's keep looking in here. And here we're going to set that to null, I think. Is that right? What am I doing? Nope, I'm not. Equal to a new list of string. Like that. Oops, new. And now I think all our test cases are still going to work. Because we're not assigning to it directly except for through the call to add dice, which is kind of the way we want it to work. All right, that's good. So now we've got something that's theoretically stronger, untested but stronger. I should get Surly in demand to know Rory's ISP. Surly's asking the same question. What's going on?
they're having a debate between the question. There was a question: does it start with a B or a V or something else? And Surly said that because this was an or question, the answer could only be yes, since clearly it did begin with something.
That's true. Yeah, I like that. Remember, as a kid, my dad explained the correct answers to questions that include the word not. So, did you not clean up your room? Yes. Yes, I did not clean up my room. Right? That is if you know, so it's, but it was interesting too, because when he explained it to me, he also said, most people do the opposite. You didn't clean up your room? And then people say, no, I didn't clean up my room, that sort of thing. So in general, it's good to disambiguate.
But some phrases lose all meaning. So, for example, I've heard Americans say, I couldn't care less, and also that they could care less, and yet both variations mean I don't care.
Yep.
It would seem.
Yep.
Okay? Similarly, in England, and I'm assuming many other places, the word literally has come to also mean the word figuratively, in at least popular use.
Well, I've seen it mean,
And
really, it seems
absolute mockery of the words.
It actually seems to mean actually, is what it seems to be in what I've heard. It actually was like this. And yeah, no, I'm fighting, for the preservation of the original meaning of the words, or the
I'd like just to have common sense would be nice.
Yeah. But what is it? Oh yeah, fewer or less than, right, is another one too. So this is one I actually lived a lot of my adult life without realizing this. But fewer should be used whenever you can count. Less should never be used when you can count. So
that's right, because less is for a fluid quantity rather than a discrete quantity. Is that right?
Yeah. So it should be 10 items or fewer in the lines, but in the United States, most of the signs for lines that if you have 10 items or less to go to the cashier are 10 items or less. So I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and I'm trying to get her, to use this the correct way, and she thinks I'm absolutely insane. But here's
of course the counter argument is that language is fluid anyway, and it changes and evolves over time, and thus what is correct
No, I know.
is not correct. It's not the same this year as last.
No, I know.
Which is
What?
annoying.
Come here.
Which is annoying.
The family's like, "What are you talking about me? Dude, this is my daughter who does not think I'm insane, right?" She makes some promises, but she doesn't think I'm insane. Grammar police roadblock ahead, says Codebase Alpha. Yeah, I literally gave 1 million examples of this, says Surly Dev. Well, okay, that's possible. You can use literally if there's a figurative possibility, right?
How come Surly Dev can't sleep? That's going to keep me up at night.
Why can't you sleep, Surly Dev? You're confusing people at work with positive answers to negative questions. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. So who's cute together? Y'all look so cute together, aren't they? Except the ladies seem scared of what you're saying.
Always. We never know. There's no edit button. Right, Jam? Has Daddy ever embarrassed you? No. Are you
Cool.
sure?
That's cool. Yeah, I figured the answer would be no, because I'm a pretty cool dad. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
This is when you were a man who made potions in a traveling show and you can't see.
Yeah, you can't really see that.
It's really good though. We dressed up as Elton John songs. They know that. It's been around a while.
Yeah, it's a high contrast kind of thing going on though. All right, so should we do do you mind if I do my coding show, or should we write some code, people, or do you want to here's Karen do zombie sounds? Yeah. Karen thinks it's funny to wake me up in the middle of the night with zombie sounds and her trying to chew and eat my neck in the middle of the night. I'm trained for one thing, and that's headshots. That's what I'm trained for. Headshots on zombies. I've been watching a lot of movies, and she does this. It's not safe to do this. She looks like the velociraptors on Jurassic Park. Codebase Alpha says, have you devised a mind-bending math puzzle so the kids can eat tonight? Sex positive. No, she doesn't do that. I'm the guy who's is trying to work through the puzzles. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Okay.
Eating dinner's fine. It's eating the junk that maybe goes alongside of it.
Yeah. So we've basically taken an hour to write 2 lines of code, and I have no idea if we're on track, if we have done everything we need to do. I've got this at, wait, I've got add damage, but I need to change it to add dice. That's what I need to do. Add dice and then pass it in. So we're going to change that to add dice. And holy cow, could this really work? We're going to need to send this out. This is our spell. So, and this is all hoping, right? This is all based on everything working as documented, right? On player attacks, do I have any other examples in this column? Whoa, I do. Thunderstep. Okay. All right. I don't know if that works or not. I haven't really tested or played with Thunderstep here to see if that actually works. So let's export this. There's my spells. Let's take this app and shut it down. Let's start up a new one. From here. Surely Dev up. Surely Dev's okay.
Back to the code!
That's what I'm talking about. Back to the code. B2 code. All right. What are my build errors? Could not copy. Something's running. Hold on. Wait, this is our D&D app. There should be no problem running it. D&D core.
File locking issues. Are you running externally?
I was, but I closed it down. You know what my hunch is though? It's locked by Visual Studio. I'm going to close Visual Studio and restart it. I've seen this happen before, and restarting Visual Studio and trying a second time would be like, oh yeah, there's nothing locked. There's no problem. So we'll take a look at that. Did we lose Rory? I think we may have lost Rory. No, still locked, huh? The other two pieces that are open, wait, is there one more? There's one more, sorry, my bad. Okay, there was one more open around. Looks like we lost Rory. It looks like Rory's gonna probably try to join us tomorrow when he's got some more internet.
Willie!
Swilly Dip says, that's where I troll the stream by Skyping Mark and he answers things Roy. You can Skype in. I'll answer the phone. Bill Simpson did it on Friday. And then he was a dog within seconds. He was a dog over here next to me the whole show. It was awesome. It was really fun. Okay, we're here. Initialize player data. Now I'm hoping to see a checkbox up at the top.
Thomasina Cutterblock.
I don't. I wonder if I click this if I'll get it. Nope. Hoping to see that. Now why not? Why not? Let's see if we can figure that out. We got target is marked. Let's go look at this for the spells, we downloaded the spells. Is it because it's not, hold on. It may be because it's not a feature, right? So with feature, I've got sneak attack that's got these pieces available in it right here. Yeah, let's go figure out how we're adding the. Let's go through the asks and see how we're adding these up here. Here it is, right here. Character property. Check value. The wolf was fantastic, said Codebase Alpha. Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I like that a lot. Hold on, let me rate the Skype call there. I'm going to say it ended unexpectedly again. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to talk about VBA. Yeah, you could just say that the code would have been better in insert programming language here. Yeah, it certainly wants me to do code rush for VBA, and that's probably not ever going to happen. So he keeps bringing it up. Okay. So it's only here in check value. How the heck am I adding? I feel like I'm doing a tab to next reference. I should be able to find it, unless I'm using it as a string, I suppose. That doesn't make sense that I'd be using it as a string. I'm trying to figure out how am I adding the checkbox to it. That code would be up in the main window. Just look for the word checkbox. Add Boolean ask. Rebuild ask UI. Asking value. Asking value is an event down in here. And it's coming from check value. So theoretically, I suppose we could add a breakpoint here. I think what's going to happen is when it's asked, it's going to come up. But the problem is it's going to be too late because the spell is going to be flat out being already in the process of being, or the attack is going to take it out. It's going to be when it's called. Hold on, let's bring it up here in a second. And so we've got it on screen and you can see this. So yeah, this is when we're going to call it, when the player attacks. So when we call it, the check value is going to be called, and then we're going to call ask value, and ask value is going to trigger the event by sending in this data. The act of asking the value is going to put it up in Wicked Blue Ninja in the house. Welcome, Wicked Blue Ninja. Glad you're here. Hey all, how goes life? It's not too bad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I think what's going to happen is we can cast this spell, and I think later when I try to make an attack, there we go. Well, that's not bad. This is the Boolean has weapon in hand. That's not the one I'm interested in. Target is marked. This is the one I'm interested in. So this is, I think what it's going to do is it's going to call ask value. It's going to invoke it. Whoops, I wanted to be in there. I wanted to check that out. Let's go back in and trigger it a second time. Fast UI's contains key. Okay, then we add it. Found ask. Need to rebuild it? Well, we don't, because apparently we've already built it. I bet the checkbox is there. If we just run it. Do we see the checkbox? Yeah, it's there. The problem is I think I've run the attack. Oh no, I haven't run it yet. Sweet. So that event, okay, that's super cool now. Now I can say target is marked. And now if I roll the attack, is it going to add the dice or not? Are we going to get to that second event? Because I think the problem is on player attacks, this is not necessarily true. We haven't rolled the attack yet. On player hits target, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. Because I think this has already been called and target was marked was false, so we haven't added the dice. On player attacks is being called at, I think, the wrong time, or it's not named properly. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. Trigger player attacks. See, creature will attack. So I kind of want to rename this. I'm going to drop all this down, and I'm going to rename this from trigger player attacks to trigger player will attack, or prepares attack. Player prepares attack, like that. Let's go inside here. So here on player attacks, we want to change this to on player prepares attack. And we want to change this to on player prepares attack, like that. Do a lowercase o there so it matches. Player may be thinking about attacking, kind of. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so now that should sync up there. So now we've got an on player prepares attack. And I think all I want to do here in Hunter's Mark, I guess I want another one here. That's really on player attacks. Is that right? I think I do. And so let's support that. So duplicate this. Oops, I'm going to copy that one. And duplicate this line. That looks good. Go in here. Do that. So that now I've got it on player attacks. Add the additional event here on trigger player attacks. Trigger on player attacks. like that. And now I got to call this at the right spot. That's the tricky part. Creature will attack. Will attack. Pulling this from some test pieces here. And that's it. Creature will attack. It's here. Is that what? Hold on. Yeah, let's change this as well. Creature prepares attack. Like that. Prepare attack. I like it better. So this one I want to change to prepare attack as well. Right, that's good. Feature player taking action. I think I want what's going on with the shortcut I'm passing in here? Just to see if we're using magic or not is the only piece that's going on there. Okay, so I don't think we need to pass the shortcut in. We're not going to need that. I think it's just in the roll dice method. We're going to go in and we're going to trigger the second piece here. Roll dice. Which when the button is clicked, unleash the next roll. Damn it, I missed Wicked Blue Ninja's fanfare. Yeah, it was fun. Somebody should clip that so you can see that. Unleash the next roll. Roll the dice. Here we go. So somewhere in here we need to figure out. I just want to search for the word attack. Are we kind of figuring that out? Oh, we are right here. Okay. I think we're just going to do this. At the beginning of roll the dice, we're going to say, hey, look, if we are an attack, where's my player? Where do I get my player in this space? Players. We could have multiple players. Here's my damage dice. My die roll effects. The question is, am I adding the damage die at the right in time? Seriously, roll the dice and dice roll right there. Here I might have, there's one player here. So I think my breakpoint is here. I think I want to put a breakpoint here. And I think I want to do something like this. Dice roll, dot type. Can I do a test close from here? Cool. All right. So if we're in attack, at this point I want to say player dot is attacking, or player dot attacks, something like that. It's lowercase. Attacking now. Let's try that. You're the best. Yeah? You go swimming? Go enjoy your life, baby. Alright, so I've got attacking now, and then somewhere in here, I think in here we've got the trigger. Well, I need to know if the spell is active, is what I need to know. And I think I've got in here somewhere the active spells. Get active spells. And then maybe, I don't know, for each. And then for each one, casted spell dot spell dot, I got a trigger. There we go. Look at that. We finally worked our way down. Trigger player attacks. And we're going to say this as character, I guess. The target creature. I don't think we have the target. I'm going to pass it in though. I'm going to declare it. That's what I'm going to do. And the casted spell, which is there. Let's make the target creature, let's add that right here. When mapping is complete and targets are none. So there's my attacking now. I think there's a shot of this working or getting much closer. Once we do the attacking, that's going to modify the additional dice. So basically we're looking for a breakpoint in there, in that space right there. All right, let's run it. See what happens. Let's also, with this new data here, let's go to Hunter's Mark. And all I think I want in here is I think I just want a reference to target is marked.
Thomasina!
Like that. And over here, I want the other bit of code on player attack. So in the prepares attack, on player prepares attack, we're just going to reference target as marked, and that's going to get that checkbox up there for us. So let's see if this works. I don't know. Let's download. Initialize player data.
Melody, Captain Joe, Miss Cutterbuck.
And Hunter's Mark. Cast the spell. And it looks like it's cast. I don't see anything here yet, but now let's do somebody else's turn. Roll the dice. Got a dog. Oh, check it out. We're here. That's okay. I'm going to just ignore that for now.
That is a hit.
Let's go back over to Thomasina.
Thomasina.
Let's bring up the dagger. There we go. We've got target is marked. Let's check it. And now we should get our breakpoint. And normally the dagger is 1d4 plus 2, but we're expecting to add a new 1d6 to that. That's what we want to do. So let's see what happens in here. If it's an attack. It is. We're going to call attacking now. Got one active spell. That's good news. And that active spell should be Hunter's Mark. There it is right there. Hunter's Mark. Trigger player attacks. Now we're going to go into on-player attacks. Got an expression of null. What was that for? I didn't see which one that is. On-player attacks is null for this spell. Why? Because it definitely had something here. Okay, I'm just going to run that. Why is on-player attacks?
Look at all that damage, kids.
No. It totally feels like that should work. Did I really not download that? Did I not? Maybe I failed to do that. I thought I did it. Okay. Let's try initialize player date again.
Merkin Bushwhacker.
Here's Mark. Cast the spell. Bring up the dagger just right now. Target is Mark. Roll attack. Let's try again. Spell on player attack is null. I don't get that. You know, just for fun, let's copy this and paste it here. Hold on, it didn't take the whole thing. Can I change it if I click here? I can't change it, can I? Shoot. All right, well that's not working. Let's figure out why this is not being set. I guess breakpoint here. I don't like the readability of that. Let's set a breakpoint there. And let's just say continue. I want this to be conditional.
Time to see the code book.
I'm clicking initialize player data. It should give us a breakpoint here. There it is right there. See if I can do a test close so I can shut it down. Good. I want to make this conditional breakpoint. There. Spell DTO dot name starts with hunt. Close. Run. There, we got it. Okay, spell DTO. On player tax actually has a value. What's going on? Is it just going to work this time? Is that what's going to happen? Yeah, it's there. Look at this. Spell on player tax. I wonder if it's a, yeah, it's got a value there. I wonder if, hold on. This shows up in a clone call. There it is. This is why it's null. That's what we were missing right there. So we're cloning that. Update spell events. I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, that's what I should have done. I should have tapped index reference everywhere to make sure I had something afterwards. Okay, let's continue to run. I might have to restart because this is down in a low-level DLL. I think I'm going to do that. Sometimes I didn't continue doesn't get my changes. If I've noticed if they're down in a low-level DLL. And instead of being not sure about that, let's just be sure. Hopefully we'll have Ocular Malice back on later this week. He was the wolf on Friday.
Time to see the code book.
All right, I'm clicking on initialize player data.
Marcus code book.
Okay, now Hunter's Mark. Cast spell. I cast it, but I didn't. Oh, I need to say dagger. There we go. Target is marked. Roll attack. Attacking now. There we go. Player attacks. We're going to call add dice. So if that works, we should be able to set a breakpoint here. Good. And we got our 1d6. Sweet. Additional dice. It's got 0 in it right now. And there it is. There's my join. Additional dice this roll. Next question is, where is that used? Is it used in, did we change it in time? Is the question to be part of. All right, let's jump out of here, jump out of here, jump out of here. There we go, we triggered the event. We're here. Where's additional dice this roll used? It's used up here. I think what I need to do is I think I need to, here, let's F10 out of this, and F10 past that. And I think I need to take this, and I need to really do this up here. And the combined additional dice is happening below. So if it's an attack, then we're going to say player attacking now. That's going to look through any active spells, tell the spells it's attacking, give the spells a chance to modify additional dice this roll. Then we're going to throw those out there, add those additional dice. So this time it's not going to work, but I think the next time it will.
Making contact. That is a hit.
All right, let's clear the dice.
Merkin. Unbelievable miss. Thomasina Cutter Bluff.
Okay, so Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark. Like that. Cast the spell. It's cast. Target is marked. Bring up the dagger. Roll attack. Here's my 1d6. Hey, I got it. Nice.
That's a hit.
Okay. Clear the dice. I think that worked. Let's bring up the dagger again. Let's turn off target is marked and roll the attack. Need to go. See ya. Hey, thanks, Frank, for hanging out with us. All right. Nothing that time. I'm going to go back to target is marked. And let's roll the attack again with the dagger. Should see an extra die. There it is right there. I'm going to go ahead and keep that breakpoint. The next time, though, I think about a minute has passed. Hunter's Mark, I think, only lasts a minute.
Delivering a world of hurt.
Is that right? Let's go see what Hunter's Mark is. Oh, no, its duration is up to an hour. So let's add an hour to the clock like that. And now let's cast the spell again. No, I'm sorry, not cast it. Let's bring up our dagger. We're going to say the target is marked, but now we should see no dice because the spell's gone. Yeah, even though we see target is marked and it's a dagger attack, there's no additional dice.
That is a hit.
Because Hunter's Mark is no longer being cast. Okay. That's not bad. I want to change something, the way we are telling. I'm going to go to Tell Dungeon Master here. I've got this Tell All. I want to use that instead. Tell Dungeon Master. Scene. Drop wind up. Closing the scroll. Rolling the dice. Rolling wild magic. I think that's going to be a. I want to change that. So okay, let's set a breakpoint here. Let's roll wild magic.
Merkin.
How are we triggering that? Oh, from the Dungeon Master app.
Cast confusion on yourself.
Let's see if I can get that rolling from the Dungeon Master app here. Can I get my breakpoint now? Doesn't look like I'm getting it. Somewhere else I'm getting it. set a breakpoint here. No, I'm not getting it from a roll saving throw being called. It's coming from... Okay, I should be able to get it if I hit a button now. No? Oh yeah, there it is, right there, finally, okay. So... Oh no, wait, I do like that there. I want to have those two different pieces there. I'm looking for where the spells are told to the Dungeon Master when they're cast and when they're not. Cast action spell. Here we go. I want to set this to all. Players now casting the spell. Tell all players preparing to cast this, and it takes a certain amount of time. I think this can be tell all, exiting combat, entering combat. Report on die roll. I'm going to say tell all here. Okay. Report initiative results. I don't want to report initiative to everybody. I think I do. Okay. Okay, keep that one. That's the other one I wanted right there. All right, good. Okay, so let's continue. And let's go back over to
Thomasina.
Let's add a long rest. Okay. Let's cast Hunter's Mark. Casting the spell. Thomasina casts Hunter's Mark. There's the time right there, 20:53. Then we're going to, so she's got an hour before that expires. She'll bring up her dagger. She'll roll the attack. There's our additional string right there. There's the additional die for Hunter's Mark. Not bad. Cool thing
And
about
there's going to be
this
some damage.
is we essentially did this with only 2 lines of code here. This line right here just brings up the option, the checkbox for us right here. I almost want to add a comment to the code here that it brings up the target is marked checkbox in the UI before the attack is rolled. The cool thing about this too is it kind of seems to be a confirmation that our engine is not bad. It seems to be facilitating the kinds of rules and things that Dungeons and Dragons has. We added a new event, right? We basically, this used to be called on player attacks, but it turned out it was really only called when the player was raising their weapon. And so we added a second one that's called when the die is rolled. Let's go ahead and called when the player is attacking with a d20 and actually rolls the die. So called just before the die are released. Okay, like that. So now we've got a note up there as well. Okay, cool. It has weapon in hand and target is marked, then add dice. The last thing we need to do is add buttons to the Stream Deck, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to trust that that's all going to work because we've already got the ability to do that. We've shown that with Willie. Target is flanked. If I come into Willie up here and I'm pressing buttons on my Stream Deck right now. Hold on, Willie, actions, target is flanked. There you go, like that. Bring up dagger. Those are no attack. Oops, we didn't enable sneak attack. But yeah, so that's an enabling, disabling one. But yeah, that is, I think, goal number 1 achieved. Let's look at number 2. Visual Studio is rating with a party of 35. Welcome, Visual Studio. How was your stream, Visual Studio? Guess where we are, Visual Studio? We are inside of you. We are inside Visual Studio, working. I'm using, one of my favorite features, edit and continue. We're writing Dungeons and Dragons special effects code. Blackout is now following. Thanks for that follow. We're for a live stream, so you can see we got cool effects here, right? All written in TypeScript and C#, and there's Fred over there. Fred is a puppeted digital character. Fred, are you good? Can you say hi to everybody? There you go. There's a wave, Fred. You doing good? How was your weekend, Fred? All right. Fred says it was good. Doing that. Who's the man, Fred? That's right. I'm the man. Don't forget that, Fred. Okay. So we got Fred over there. We've got some cool die roll effects, and we were just here. I'll show you some of that and spell effects. Let's bring up Chaos Bolt. You can see the special effects here. But actually, you can see us circling around me. Notice it coming from behind. Probably better, easier to see the circling stuff if I add health to me. Let's add some health here. You can see them actually spinning around me. Kind of cool. So we've got these kind of 3D particle effects live spinning around me. Very cool stuff. We built that on the show. We built this spell viewer right up there. You can see that. It looks better with a darker background. Let me minimize that so you can see that cool glow effect we got on the back there. We've got a markdown. We built this in TypeScript on the show right here, where you can see that we're supporting tables and formatting inside of the spell descriptions right there. And then when we roll the attack, let's go ahead and roll this attack. There's the die roll attack. It's 7. It's a miss. Too bad. But you can see we've got acid and thunder effects on the D8, which correspond to the chaos roll. If it were a hit, I could select which of the 2 damage types I want. So we're using practices from my course, The Science of Great Design. We're using CodeRush inside of Visual Studio so we can write code very quickly. And that's kind of what we're building up here. We've also got, I'll show you one more roll. We'll do a tidal wave roll here, cast that special effect. You can see my wind up right here around me like this, circling around me. Let's roll the damage for it. The dice will have special effects. That's bludgeoning right there. Bludgeoning effects. And that's it. So that's kind of a little bit what we're doing. Today, what we've been working on is we're working on the Hunter's Mark spell. And in addition to all the code that's here, we also have an expression evaluator that we're using. And we're essentially writing code right here in the Google Sheets. And this is the code for implementing the Hunter's Mark spell, which adds an additional D6 if it's an attack, the player's attacking. This is an event we have right here for the Hunter's Mark spell. So the Hunter's Mark spell is cast, and there's a weapon in the hand, and the target is marked. Then we add a 1d6 to it. And so that was a code we just wrote for part 1 of the show. We just finished that, and we're about to go to part 2 of that. But before I do it, let me check in with the chat room over there, kids. And looks like John Galloway saying they did Signal R with Brady Gaster and David Pine. That's awesome. Well, there's Signal R in this as well. I'm, in general, a big fan of Signal R. It's what's making all of this possible, right? I've got this app out here that I've built in WPF. That's this one right here. And all of these commands are out here talking to the overlays of the live stream. Like that.
Shaker.
Now, if you're a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, you can go out and follow us out at this stream over here, twitch.tv/dragonhumpers. That's the show that this is. It's essentially comedy Dungeons & Dragons. That's the show that all these special effects are being used for. So kind of cool stuff here. All right, so I wanted to do the second one. The second one is with another player that's not here. Let's go get her on. Let's get that player on. So that is for Cornelia Wicklespit. And let's get rid of Willie, like that. I guess before I get rid of Willie, let me show you one cool effect he's got. He can use a sneak attack with the dagger, and he can roll that attack, and if he does it, the dice come out in smoke. Kind of cool effect there. For the sneak attack, right? It's sneaky, so he's behind a poof of smoke. All right, we'll get rid of Willie. We'll export this right here. We added Cornelia. Download that. Whoops. Replace our player's data. And initialize player data. There we go. Now we got Cornelia. Cornelia has a spell.
Dude, check out the chat room.
Here it comes. There it is, kids. Yeah, my Zoom H6 has just shut off on me a couple times in the last few days. And I thought it was the cable. I replaced the cable, the power cable to it, and it just shut off again. Hey, thanks so much, guys, for that, for letting me know that. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. That's a little bit of a bummer. I'm not sure why that is dying like that. Yeah, I've seen it lose power like 3 or 4 times in the last couple days, where it's just off. And I thought it was the cable, but I replaced the cable this morning and it just died again. So not the cable. Odd too, because there's really no bumping or anything that I think would explain why this is going out. There's no mechanical action. All right, so my target, I think I want to change to an object, because a target can be a creature, it can be a weapon, now that we know this, right? It can be a weapon, or it can be an area, a point in 3D space with an associated area, like a cone or a cube or a radius of a circle, that sort of thing. So the target kind of needs to be known, and it's not just a creature. I want to tab the next reference through this target creature. Interesting, I've got an active target here, but it's also, no, it's a type object. Sweet. Are we passing in? Yeah, we're not really passing in that target creature, anything into the target creature. That's the, we're doing it once from here. And this target creature here, but nothing passed in there, nothing passed in, nothing. Yeah. So I think it's safe right now to change that across the board. So we're going to do this. I'm going to kill the app. Change the type. Rename this. Target. Rename this. Target. So do this, just in case anybody out there is using that. What's my problem here? Is this just old? Yeah, it's just old. Okay. Yeah, trigger casting. I want to look through my spreadsheet and see if I'm using anywhere inside of here. I'm looking at target creature. Okay, not anywhere. Good. Okay, I think that'll work. Where else am I using that? I think I got to. Celestian is now following, or Celestian. Thanks for the follow. What are we calling get stir. Target is going to be that. Agent 9191 now following. Thanks for that follow, Agent 9191. Okay, there's my target. There, where's my other error? Trigger cast. I'm going to rename just target. Do the same thing down here. Whoops, I did not want to do that. Whatever I just thought I did. I think I did a rename on the creature type or something. Just roll it back a bit. I meant to do the rename here. Okay, an object. Creatures all the way down the board here. Okay. Now what do I got? Let's build. Bob Leva says, hey, yo. Welcome, Bob. Build succeeded. Okay. So we've just changed our target to be an object. So that's not bad. Casted spell should now have a target associated with it. Now we need to ask for the target. Let's go look at the spell events and see how we can figure that out and make that work. So we want to go down and look at Shillelagh. Shillelagh. May I ask what you're working on? Asked Bob Lava. Yeah, we're working on Dungeons and Dragons, video effects, implementing the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, for a set of overlays that are going to accompany a live stream out at. If you look at there, you can go grab it right over there with over-the-top special effects. Built here, but it's out there at that other channel, twitch.tv/dragonhumpers. So go give us a follow out over there, and you can see those games. And with all the effects that we're building here. So that's kind of what's happening. In the background, Surly Dev is like planting flowers and animating Fred and throwing up game elements here because, you know, those are also things we built here on the show. Let's see here. Shillelagh, right there. Okay. So let's see. On casting. I think on casting, we want to ask, I need some code, a sample code for this. Let me just, who's here? Who's that kid? Coding Gorilla in the house. They're funny. I enjoy watching. I always wanted to get into D&D. Yeah, so Wicked Blue Ninja has seen the show. Says we're funny. So good. Yeah, it's kind of fun. And we're making it so that if you want to get into it, it should be a little easier because things are explained as they go along with graphics and effects, things like that. So you can kind of see those there. Here comes some flowers. Look at Surly Dev finding all those beautiful flowers. The Code Rush rocket there. Okay, so I want to set a breakpoint here because I want to go look and see where I'm using the ask. I'm looking for it in the code. Here it is. There we go. So there's like an example of using ask followed by some if statements. Let's grab that. Let's go find our star that I said is my marker for it. So I think when we bring this up, we want to create a variable. Do we want to create a variable? What if we did this? Set target, and to get the spell, I have a convention where I preface it with an spell underscore. So we're going to set the spell target to, I think, a new function I'm going to create called get weapon target, like that. And that's going to set it to a weapon, I think. Let's start with that and get that working right there. So get weapon target we need to implement and build. We'll go ahead and download this, comma separated values, so it's down there. All right, so there we've got the spell down there. So when the shillelagh is cast, we're going to call get weapon target. Now we need to create that as a function. I don't know. Let's take one of the existing ones and duplicate it. Get weapon target. Like that. Expecting arguments. I'm going to say it's expecting 0 arguments for now. We need a player for sure. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, if player is not null, we're going to say return player dot get choose weapon. I think we're going to do like that. Let's try that. Let's declare that. Let me just jump back to this a second. Let's move this to its own file. So we've got get weapon target. Now we need to choose the weapon. And this is low level. We don't have any UI down here, so we're going to need to trigger an event to choose the weapon. So we need some event args for that. So I'm going to type in CEA for class that descends from event args. And now I want to say, that's CodeRush, by the way. We're using CodeRush inside of Visual Studio. So now let's say we want to, the name of this is going to be pick weapon event args, like that. And the weapon, let's figure this out. The
Code Rush.
That's right, we're using CodeRush. Let's go to
Dev Express.
made by Dev Express. Look at Surly out there. All right, here's character. We're already there, it looks like. I want to look at the weapons. See how we're holding and storing our weapons. Carried weapons. That's what I'm looking at, right there. Okay, so it's going to be among our carried weapons. Then we're going to return a carried weapon out of that. So what we need is something of that type, a property of that type. We'll call it weapon, like that. Okay, next we need a delegate. And we're going to call this the pick weapon event handler. And that's going to take in pick weapon event args. Next, I need to create an event. And that's going to be pick weapon. And then I need an event trigger for that on pick weapon, like that. So now down here, choose weapon, we're going to trigger on pick weapon. Sender, I guess we'll send in this. And then we want to say, let's create a new pick weapon event args right here. Declare local, like that. Pass in the event args. And then when we come back, we're going to return the weapon that's selected, like that. There's choose weapon. In fact, we could, let me just change this to a void for a second, and then I'll come down here, use CodeRush to determine the correct type and change it to carried weapon right there. So we're going to do that. Choose weapon. So that's going to invoke some UI out there to do it. Big poop taker out there. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have a feeling Big Poop Taker is about to, you got to launch the drone first. So you're going to, did you, oh yeah, you got it. Look at that. Awesome. Just flying around all over my, you know, by the way, Big Poop Taker, I create, we create fanfares for folks who hang out a lot. And I really hope you don't hang out a lot because I would be compelled to create a fanfare for you. What happened to my face? Am I gone? How did I disappear? What's going on? We switched somewhere where I was gone completely. That's interesting. Yeah, Wikiblue says that would be awesome. Yeah, no, I can't do a fanfare for that. I just no way to do that. Surly Dev, you took over my stream. How'd you get rid of me? That's curious. Okay, so there's choose weapon. Now we need to listen to this event. Is what we need to do. So we need to hook the pick weapon event. Now somewhere in this space, we're like hooking events. Hook events. I'm looking for like a hook player events. That's what I'm looking for there. So in the D&D game, we go into the player and we hook a number of events. Cool. So we say player dot pick weapon plus equals player pick weapon. The game though kind of needs to bubble the event up as well. Because the game really isn't going to have the logic. It's the upper UI that's going to have the logic. The game is just managing the players. So we kind of need to do the same thing again up here. So we're not going to have to declare. We just need to come in here and do this and that. Create an event trigger for it. There's my unpicked weapon there. And now all I need to do back down here to bubble that up is say on-pick weapon and pass in this now being the game and the event args. Should I put player inside a pick weapon event args? I think I should. Let's do that. Character, player, like that. Hit the code rush key. Let's see here. So property with initializer, like that. That's good. And now I want to say this right there. Cool. All right, so that's going to now populate that. Let's move this to its own file. Okay, good. Do I have a delegates file anywhere out here? I do. Let's take this, put it in our delegates file. Okay, good. There's pick weapon. And there's the other pick weapon in the game. Now I want to go, who's hooking events out here? There it is right there. I want to do something similar for game dot pick weapon plus equals game pick weapon. And here's where I'm going to build the UI, where we actually put something up. Let's extract all of these because we're getting a little heavy here. Extract it to its own method called hook game events. Like that. Cool. There's pick weapon right there. All right. I think I have an ask function here. I thought I had a way to bring up a dialogue here. I'm pretty sure I do. What's the thing he's programming? Big Poop Taker is asking. Yeah, D&D overlayer. Yeah, let me give you a demo of that so you can see it, because I gave a demo just a few moments ago, but you kind of need to see it. Let's do a build here for a second. I'm going to set a breakpoint there. Boys for life. There, build succeeded. Let me just start up the standalone version of the app. Here it comes. And I'll show you what you can do with this. So let's initialize player data. And allows us to show different player stats while we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Different pages. If I want to do like an intimidation check with advantage, I can do that roll. It's got the die roll effects with it as well. It's advantage, so it's going to take the 7 away. That. And that is essentially some of what we can do. You can also roll out, like, for example, damage only. Let's create some fire damage and roll the damage. And there you see you got the fire effect with the die right there. Kind of nice. Similarly, I'll throw out cold damage as well now. We'll roll some cold damage. Like that. So you got kind of cool sound effects, special effects, that sort of thing. So we're doing all kinds of things Dungeons and Dragons, including keeping track of when spells expire, when they're cast, what the effects are, handling it, automating as much as we can on the process there. Okay, so let's see. Our breakpoint's not going to work here yet because I didn't run it directly from the background. Let's run it from here. At least get to the breakpoint, verify that's happening. All right, initialize player data. Now we should hopefully would see a breakpoint on when we cast Shillelagh. So let's look at that. Cornelia has it. Shillelagh. Cast spell. Please get to breakpoint. Okay, that's really awesome. We've got the player coming in here, right? The player's got some carried weapons. Let's see if we got any carried weapons in here. We do. What do we got? We got a javelin. We have a sling. And a javelin and a sling is what she's got. Okay. Reason to watch Dragon Hunters. Fred is super broken. Really? Why would you say that about Fred? I don't even know what that means. Mark swears a lot. That's true. I do swear a lot. Yeah. That might be true. I don't swear on this show, but I would do swear on the other one. Yeah, poor Fred. Fred's super broken. Who's the man, Fred? That's right. I'm still the man. Don't you forget that, Fred. What are you doing, Fred? Yeah. All right, Fred. Yeah, keep trying to kill him. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so we're in a good place. We just need to figure out the ask question here. Do I have like a form? Form ask.ask. Questions and answers. Okay, I can call ask question, and I think that'll work for me. So we've got a breakpoint in here. Let's see if we can make that work one more time. Cast one more time. Shillelagh, cast spell. Now I want to come in and say ask a question, and there's going to be the question, which is target which weapon? I almost feel like I should send the text of the question in here too. Fred, can you see a big dope anywhere? What? Really? Fred's not working anymore. Oh, because I'm at a breakpoint. Is that why? That's why. Okay. So, yeah, Fred's going to not work there. Unfortunately, while I'm at the breakpoint. Here, let's get you out of the breakpoint. Did everybody get their kicks here as I get out of the breakpoint? There you go. Big dope is over there, Fred, buddy. Okay, one more time. Shillelagh, cast spell. Okay, so we need to create a string list in here is what we need to do. So let's type in L, new list of string, like that. And we're going to call this the weapons, like this. I think I need for each to 4 on this because I want to get an I index on this. I'm going to say weapons.add, and we're going to say yeah, let's do this. So this is going to be I right there. And then we're going to say player carried weapons of I. Weapon. Oops, that should be of I right there. Then I'm going to use CodeRush to declare this as a new local. Like that. And we're going to say weapon.name. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's 2 different names properties. There's a name out here where it could be non-null. So what I really think I want is this. I want this to be a string. Call it weapon name. and set it equal to that. And then I want to say, hey, if that's null or empty, so this could be a named weapon, such as like my dagger of warning. But if it doesn't have a name, then we want to go right into the weapon.name instead, which is just the generic name of the weapon, such as dagger. Since I've got this piece in two places, let's use Visual Studio to introduce a local. Bob Lovis says, I went to the Dragon Humper site and I skipped around. The first thing I heard was, I would twerk out, my day has been made. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. And it's only getting better, right? We're just starting off. And but if you like it, you know, well, I think you're going to like it if you like, you know, crazy, irreverent Dungeons and Dragons. And tell your friends. Because, you know, we are... okay, so there's the carried weapon right there. Because, you know, they're basically, you got actors who are performing improv comedy for you under the framework of Dungeons and Dragons. So, did I do that right? No, I don't think I did that right. I wanted to do it for all, and I feel like I didn't do it. Okay, one more time. Reduce local for all. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, so there's the weapon name. Did I do something wrong here in my code? Was my code really that? If it's null or empty, the weapon name, I meant that for this to be weapon name, right, like that. Then I want to say weapon name is equal to that. Then this becomes weapon name. That's the code I wanted right there. Found your channel via the Ludum Dare website, strangely. This channel here, Code Rush. It's Ludum Dare. Is that the thing that just randomly gives you a site to go to? Okay, go check that out. Where games are made from scratch in a weekend. That's weird. I'm not sure. I haven't built any games in a weekend, but I have heard about this. Kind of cool. You're one of the 3 highlighted streams there. It has changed since then. Oh, okay. It's got some highlighted streams. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm indirectly related to these guys somehow. I know somebody who knows somebody who's doing this or something like that. Who's doing one of my routine checks on the website. Okay, cool. Well, Bob, welcome. Are you a programmer, Bob? Did you write code? Okay, so I'm going to add that to it. Not formally, but yeah. Okay, cool. That's like a really fun way to do it, I think. So I'm adding my weapons here. Then I'm going to call ask question, target which weapon, and I'm going to pass it the list of answers. And I'm going to get the result back. Which should be an int. Results is equal to that. And then I'm going to say ea.target, weapon is equal to this of result plus 1, or minus 1 rather. I think that's what it's going to look like. You know, let's see what happens. Let's F10 it and see what we get. Let's just run it actually down to, whoops, not to there, to there. Right there. I'm likely quite rubbish. So if I make work so I'm not complaining. Yeah, it's one of the beautiful things about programming, right? You can jump in at any level of, okay, target which weapon? Not bad, but it looks like I completely blew the format of the other pieces. What's going on here? What am I expecting in my data here? My list of answers. not sure about this code here. I feel like I need to step through this to take a look at this. So let's come back up in here. So this looks like what I thought we'd be expecting. Let me change this to +1 up here. Let's come back up there. Actually, let's do it up here. Start here again. And run down to a breakpoint. Now we've got our weapons. 1 javelin, 2 sling. Let's go into ask questions, see what's going on with that data. Oh, it's looking for colons. Okay, let's get out of here. Close it again. One more time. This time we're going to change it to a colon. Come back up here. Now run it. There we go. Target which weapon. Nice. So now when she casts Shillelagh, she gets to choose which weapon to target, the javelin or the sling. So we're going to say javelin. And now we've got a result, which is 1. Result minus 1 is going to be 0. Is carried weapon of 0, the javelin. It is. Sweet. So now we're taking weapon, and we've just specified it. That's awesome. The other thing that's cool about Ask Question is it actually asks it both to me locally inside of the WPF app, but it also asks the question to the Dungeon Master as well. And so that's what's going on here. So it builds that question. So the Dungeon Master gets the question, I get the question here, and the Dungeon Master can locally hit a button to answer the question if they want to. So kind of cool. Okay, so now that we've got the target, right, let's run it, keep running forward. We've got the target. Then we want to check to see if the spell target, now we need to verify this later. Let's go look at the spell again when we cast it. What's going on with that spell?
Come see the good Wickles bitch.
For the duration, so it lasts for a minute, you can use your spellcasting ability instead of strength for the attack. And damage rolls of melee attacks using that weapon. So it's the plus bonus is what's happening. So if now I go to Javelin, so now if I go to Javelin, now a couple things. One is the weapon becomes magical, is one of the aspects of it, if it isn't already. Let's go back to Shillelagh in a second again. The weapon's damage dice becomes a D8. So I think the first thing is using the spellcasting ability instead of strength for the attack. So right now, if I go to the Javelin, its modifier is 0. Does that look right? Let's go bring up Cornelia's page. Javelin, should be a +2 to hit. It's the proficiency bonus because she's proficient in the javelin. Do we not have her proficient? Why don't we see the +2 in there? Cornelia. She's proficient in the javelin and the sling. So it looks like there might be an issue. With the weapon proficiency. Oh no, wait, these are the weapons she owns. Hold on, weapon proficiency is here. Ah, okay, this feels a little bit better. So her weapon proficiency doesn't seem to have the right data in it. Let's copy that. Looks like maybe that changed. Okay. So let's save that data. Let's download that. We're looking for a +2 because she's got proficiency in it. So let's make sure that we're starting off with the right data here. So right now when I choose the javelin, there's no modifier +2. We're expecting it to be like that. And also to see the damage also to be a +2. But we're not seeing that. Let's reinitialize player data.
Thomasina Cornelia.
Now let's bring up the javelin. Let's make sure is it changing? Yeah, it's changing to a +2. Okay, good. Does it match the damage too? The damage is 1d6, so that's good. Everything is good there in terms of matching what's already existing here. Now that's using, I think, her strength modifier for the javelin. Right? Use that modifier. Somewhere we got to figure out how we're using which modifier in here. Get attacking ability modifier. This is kind of where the bulk of this work is calculated right there. Update player attacking ability. This is about where we need to intercept it, right here. I kind of feel like I want to create an override ability attack modifier. Wiggle Blue Ninja says, damn, it looks great. I think I can do two things. One of the things I just occurred to me is I can create an event similar to what we've done before that basically says, hey, look, about to calculate attacking ability modifier. Or no, I want something that says getting ability modifier. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new event. Your stream kind of reminds me of a casino. Interesting. Oh, because of all the coins around the edge? Is that what it is? Hold on.
Merkin.
How's that? Kind of fun. I haven't shown you inflicting damage yet, though. Ooh, look out for it. All right, so I'm going to add a new event. That's what I'm going to do, and I kind of like the way that, because I think this is the shortest path. So I'm going to come over here into my spells, because Shillelagh needs this event. And I'm going to add a new event called on get attack ability modifier. No. On get attack ability is what I think I'm going to call it. Okay? So there's on get attack ability. Let's go in here and start laying down the framework for that. I'm going to kill the app that's running. Let's go find what on casting. That's in spell. Let's create a second one of these on get attack ability. That. All right. Just going through everywhere the other event is listed. And didn't do this one yet. Trigger casting. Trigger get attack ability. Good, that's what I want it to be. That's Code Rush figuring that out for me. Trigger get attack ability. Trigger casting. Spell, casting. So I think what we need to do is we need to go out to where we were before. The attacking ability modifier here. And now what we need to do is we need to say, look, this is the character. It's got like an active spells. Get active spells. So we're going to call through get all the spells that are currently active. We're going to trigger that. Oh, it looks like I don't have that yet. I think I could just go down to spell and do it. And pass in the player, which is this. The target. It's null. There's no target right now. And the casted spell, which is here. Okay. That's going to do that. Then I want to do this and say, hey, if override attacking ability is not equal to ability dot none, then attacking ability equals the override. I want to set this to null before I trigger the event. Set it equal to none, I mean. Like that. I want to declare this as a property. I'm going to JSON ignore that. I don't need to stream it. Don't need to serialize it out. But I can now set that from my spell. Okay. check for attacking ability override, like that. And so if that's the case, we're going to do this. Otherwise, attacking ability, all of this can maybe go to its own piece as well. Wait. I kind of want to take these two pieces out right here. I just want to get the attacking ability and say, I think I'm going to call it a get modifier. Get mod from ability. Wait, that's a... Get ability. Modifier. Attacking ability. That's what I think I want. Why is this word looking misspelled to me? Not misspelled, just like looking at it too long, I think. And I think it's going to be this right here. How do I get my dexterity modifier? Get ability modifier. I'm actually getting it here and there anyway. Attacking ability modifiers there. I think this code is all going to work if I just do this, like that. Get rid of this here too. And I'm simplifying the code. Okay. So now, this needs to be an else right here. So if we've got an override, then we're going to use that. Otherwise, we're going to get the ability. Based on that ability, whatever that is, we're going to then call attacking ability modifier is equal to, or we're going to set that equal to, get ability modifier on it. And then we're going to return that as an int. That's what we're going to do. So I have a feeling that's going to work. Check for attacking ability overrides. Trigger get attack ability. That comes out here, calls on get attack ability. It's going to evaluate that expression. So now, if we come back over here and go down to Shillelagh, here on get attack ability, we want to say if I think it's going to be like this, spell underscore target. Is there a spell on this? Yeah, there is. So spell target, we need to say equals attacking weapon. We need something. We need to have the weapon that we are going to be attacking with when we do this. the weapon properties there. Player attacking ability. Only used in test cases? That's not what I want to hear. Well, it could be called from here. This is called from player action shortcut here. From weapon. Okay, here we go. But this is creating a player action shortcut. And puts it inside the property of the shortcut. All right, I think we need to call this when the weapon is activated. Let me make a note to myself about that. And I need a property that's going to hold this. I think it's going to be attacking weapon. Let's go see if I've got carried weapon. See if I've got anything. That's all the ones I'm carrying, and that's it. So what I want to do is create a new variable in here. The ready weapon, maybe? Like that. Well, Jason, ignore that. This is going to be, let's make it public though. Readied weapon. This is going to be the weapon we're attacking with. That's what that's going to be. All right, so we need to set that when we're about to attack and roll the dice. Let's look up here for carried weapon. Only in those two spaces we're using that. All right, so we need to go into like where we activate the shortcut. Right in this space, activate shortcut. So we're gonna do a press close here. Activate shortcut for player. Player taking action. If it's an attack, this is here. Creature taking action. Yeah, I think it's looking like this a little bit. We might refactor this, but it's player dot readied weapon equals null. Like that. If it's an attack, then I think we can say, and then we want to say if action shortcut dot carried weapon. Well, we can just assign it right there. We can say player.ready weapon is equal to action shortcut.carried weapon. So this is either going to be null or it's going to be a weapon that we're carrying. So now we have readied weapon inside of character and it's assigned on an attack. Now we need to also calculate, what was it, update? We need to call, we needed to calculate to get that property. Hold on, player action shortcut. It's in here. Yeah. So we're going to, we need to call get attacking ability mod. We need to call update player attacking ability is what I think we need to do. I think we need to do it right here. That's in the shortcut. Pass in the player. That's going to get us our event trigger. And is it going to get us the attacking ability as well? Yes, it will. So all I need to do is set override attacking ability to my spellcasting modifier ability, whatever that is. And so I think that's going to get us close. So if the spell.target is equal to the readied weapon is what I think I called it. Scroll that up there. Okay, then what we want to do is say override attacking ability. We need to call set for this because it's a variable here. Set the override attacking ability equal to I think it's my spellcasting ability. That's it right there, spellcasting ability. Holy cow. Is this all going to work? That might do it. Let's, that's going to get us at least close. We still have to figure out the swapping from the D6 to the D8. All right, we've set that down. We put that down there. Let's set a breakpoint here. Let's run. All right, let's run.
Working.
Click on initializing player data. Play the breakpoint for now. Set the breakpoint.
Cornelia.
Switch to Cornelia. Let's cast Shillelagh. Cast the spell. Targeting the javelin. Okay, so we've targeted the javelin now. No breakpoints have been hit. Switch to the javelin. And nice, we got this. So our ready weapon is now going to be the javelin, I think. Yep, the javelin right there. Okay. Now the ready weapon has been set. Now we're going to call update player attacking ability modifier. Now we're going to check for attacking ability override. Set it to none. Get the active spells. We got one spell. That should be Shillelagh. Who's this Cornelia character? I'll tell you in a sec. Yep, Shillelagh right there. We haven't seen her in Dragon Hunters. Yeah, Shillelagh is part of Karen's all-female crew of Dragon Hunters for the show. We're going to have two different groups. The group you've already seen and a new group that's going to be starting probably in about 2 weeks, I think, that are all women, including the Dungeon Master. We have an excellent Dungeon Master for that. So that's what's going on there. All right, so now we're going to trigger get attack ability. There will be an all-female group? Yep, there will. And they're super talented, so it's going to be awesome. Also, Fred will be gone, and there'll be a different animated character there. All right, so here we go. Let's go in here. So now we're going, the expression is, there it is, if spell target is equal to ready weapon. Are we going to get to set overriding? I'm not sure what I can step through on this here. It's not going to get too messy here. Add player variables, begin update. I'm just going to run it. Okay, what do we got here? Variable spell underscore target is not known in the expression. Pretty sure that's how I was referencing those. Let's go up in here and search for spell underscore. Well, yeah, it should be working. So does that mean target is not in spell? It's not. Spell, casted spell. Do I have a casted spell option? No. So spell target, I can maybe get. I got to find spell target is part of my problem. Just going to keep running it there. It looks like we're... So it's not getting spell target because I think it's looking from here. If we look at, search through the code for spell underscore, I think we'll find at least one. Only one. I was expecting a second one. Well, it kind of looks like I'm trying to get that from here. That's at least in my set. Here I'm trying to get it, reference it right there, and that's just flat out. So I think what I need to do, should I do a get here? Is that going to work for me? What's my get function look like? So get is not touching the spell. That's kind of interesting. My set is I want to move this over to my get is what I want to do, because I want to be able to get the spell target is what I want to do, and see if they're equal to each other. So let's send the data out one more time, and we'll reinitialize the data, load it in. We'll try this, and we'll set a breakpoint here in our get. Okay, initializing clear data. Clear the breakpoint here. Reset the breakpoint. I want my breakpoint over in the get function. I want to get over here. And I want to cast Shillelagh.
Fred.
Oops.
Miss Wigglesmith.
Shillelagh, like that. Cast the spell. Everything seems to be okay. Oh wait, here we go. Javelin is the weapon. I just picked it and it showed up on the other side. Okay, no breakpoints yet. Let's click through on the Javelin. Now we have a breakpoint. There's the carried weapon right there. And do I get my get? Okay, I do. ARG1 is spell target. So none of these are going to pass right here. These are going to come down here and be like, no, and no. And then it's going to go to get state. But state's not going to have it. What I needed is that other code, which basically is, hey, if this is a spell qualifier, then we need these to come in here, and the property name is equal to that. And then we want to say no problem here. I think it's just taking a while to get rid of it, the line, the other line there. And then we're going to say, essentially, get out of here. Try one more time. I'm not using instance here. I think I want to get value and I want to pass in, not get property, sorry. I want to say get value. Get value. It's not this, it's of the instance. Okay. So there's my get. Let's see what we can get here. See if we can come down in here. Start it, run it again. Hey, Deepwater. How's it going, buddy? Better late than never. Visualize player data. Claim a breakpoint here. Join the Code Rush community on Discord. You doing good? I'm doing pretty well. Had a interesting Easter. Typically modifier. We hit a whole bunch of breakpoints here. Let's clear it. We'll set it. Okay. Cornelius. Shillelagh. Cast spell. On the javelin. Okay. Now, let's bring up the javelin. Okay, here we are. I think we got another breakpoint down low. I'm just going to run. There we go. Down here, trigger get attack ability. And now we should get our getter. Now we should come down here. If I hit run, good. So now we're there. Let me see if I can hide the. So you can see the code here. All right. So now we're trying to get the value of the target. Let's see. Do we have a casted spell here though? We do. Sweet. Yeah, because we were casting at the time. This should be Shillelagh. There it is right there. Okay, cool. There's my instance type. There's my property name is the target. Are we going to get a value on that? It's null. The target of Shillelagh is null. I think because this is a different casted spell. Is that true or no? What's her call stack? Target here is null. That casted spell, its target is null, and it should not be null. Let's go look at this. Get active spells. Game.getActiveSpells. Passing in this character. Active spells. Complete cast. Is it null coming in here? Set a breakpoint there and run it. Let's cast it again. Shillelagh. Cast spell. With Javelin. Casted spell. Here, let's do test close again. I actually got a button that should close that up. What's my casted spell here? Does it have a target? Target is null. Look at this. I'm setting the target here to the player's active target as a creature. That might be the problem. Let's run it again. Let's see if the data is good coming in and I'm just destroying it with this line of code. I think I am. All right, let's come back in one more time. Casting it. No breakpoint this time. Oh wait, I have to look at dialogue asking for javelin. Okay. Does casted spell have a valid target? It does. This line is destroying it. I think I want to do something like this. I want to say, hey, look, if casted target is equal to null, like that, then let's do that. So I'm only going to disrupt it there, and let's run. So now casted spell target has got data. Good. Clear that. Run it. Let's pick our javelin. Run. 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 Now we're in our getter. What do we got now? Our instance. Use the casted spell right there. We still got a target? We do. Sweet. And so down here, can we evaluate that? It's a carried weapon. Sweet. Now, will the expression evaluator consider it the same as the other one? That's kind of important. If it does, we're going to get to that set function, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, right? Yeah, we're going to get to the set call. So we put a breakpoint in our set function. We should get to here if it considers them both true and equal to each other. We did. And the two args we're setting to each other on the left override attacking ability and spellcasting ability. Sweet. So spellcasting ability and overriding, that should all work. I'm going to just F11 out of here. Shift F11, I mean, to get out. I think that's going to work. Shift F11, Shift F11. Let's go up our call set, get out over into here. Set a breakpoint there, just run it until we get to it. So, out of here, and now, nice! Override attacking ability is equal to wisdom. That's like really good news. Let's see, does Cornelia, is her spellcasting modifier wisdom ability? Spells. Modifiers +2. Wisdom +2. Sweet. Strength is only +0. So now, after she's cast it, this is super cool. Her attacks normally with the javelin would be just for her proficiency bonus, but now with the other +2, I think it should go to +4. I think. Let's go see what we've got. So now my attacking ability is Wisdom. Attack ability modifier is 2. And will this be coupled with the proficiency bonus? Is the question. I'm not sure about that. And look at that. We've switched that over. That's awesome. Okay. We've done that. Let's run it and just see what we get. Yeah, look at that. My modifier is now +4. That's a long time. A lot of work coming to get to that +4 right there. But that's because she's got Shillelagh and she's cast it and she's doing the javelin. Shillelagh lasts, I think, a minute, right? If we were to add 10 minutes to the clock, like that, and we were to come back and say, let's bring up the javelin again. Let's clear this, run it. Bring up the javelin. Yeah, it's only +2. Look at that. So not bad. We are like halfway there. The other piece is changing this to a D8. I'm going to stop the show, though, because, you know, got to do some other things. But not bad, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Appreciate it so much. Let's go find another set of folks to raid you with. We have today we took care of 2 kind of big, hard to program Dungeons and Dragons rules in spells, and actually program them with very little code. Right? If you look at the total code required to program in the rules, it's this and this so far with Shillelagh. Granted, it's about halfway done, but not bad. Right? We're gonna get the weapon target and set that to the spell target on the cast. So that means Shillelagh gets you picking a weapon as the target. And then over here, we handled the get attack ability, and we were able to change that attack ability here with this bit of code right here. So pretty cool. There may be opportunities for refactoring. The other piece we added, let's go look at the other one. The other one's for Hunter's Mark that we built in here too. Very cool. Hunter's Mark right there. We just added these 2 bits of code here. Target's mark, and if has weapon in hand and target's marked, then add a d6. And that's all we did. And because of the nature of the events are only triggered if the spell is active, and because the spell is already taken care of when it's active, we know all of those things. It turned out to be not a lot of code needed to make those 2 things working. Let's go jump out. Who are we going to raid you to? We're going to send you over to Bald Beard the Builder. Start that raid right now. Say hi to Triple B for me. And we'll see you tomorrow, kids.